Sidemen. We are so excited to be trying this. This is a very new experience for us, clearly, and while it's very sad for us that we are not all out at camp with you, today is quite the rainy day, so it might not have been our most beautiful open house day anyway. So I think we're fortunate to be able to teach you guys as much about camp as we can. A little bit about myself really quickly. I have been the associate camp director for the last 6 years, and Beth will share a little bit more about our transition, but I've just recently been named the director of camp. And I actually worked at Medford as a counselor in high school. I grew up in Mount Laurel, and after spending 6 years in North Jersey post-college, I had the absolute wonderful opportunity to truly move back home. And I love camp, and it's really so much of what made me who I am as a professional today. I have 3 children, 3 boys. My oldest, Benny, is a camper. This will be his 3rd summer at camp, and camp is truly his happiest place in the world, as Beth and Jared can certainly attest to. And we are so excited to chat with all of you today. And I will turn it over to Beth.
So good morning. As Sarah said, this kind of works out today as it was a rainy day. We've had some really cold days out at open house days, a few little flurries in the past, and certainly rain. So this new format, you guys are our test group with this new format, so thanks for being here. And it's just kind of the way things are right now. My name is Beth Siegel. I am currently the Chief Program Officer of the Catch JCC in Cherry Hill. I have been the camp director at JCC camps at Medford for the last 4 summers. I have over, at this point, almost 20 years in camping under my belt, and am transitioning during this crazy time in our world to the Chief Program Officer at the JCC. As Sarah mentioned, this summer she will be taking on the role as camp director. But camp will still be under my umbrella of supervision. I am still in the middle, in the thick of things as we're planning for this upcoming summer and this transition period with Sarah and Jared. And I'm excited about the possibilities of my new role, and I'm excited that both of my feet will still be in the camp door, because camp, as you will learn, and when we get you out to camp in person, is an extremely special place. It is definitely in my heart, and I'm very passionate about it, and glad that my new responsibilities still include being involved in camp. So I'm going to turn it over to Jared now as we move along.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jared Kaufman. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. I echo everybody's statements. It's interesting to do this model. We're looking forward to it, and also staying out of the rain this morning, so not upset about that. But nonetheless, again, my name is Jared. I'm the assistant camp director. So my 2nd year in this role. My story is a little bit different than both Beth and Sarah. I was a JCC camper many years ago. I had spent about 5 or so summers at JCC before I went to overnight camp for many years. When I had finished my overnight camp time, I had the opportunity to return to the JCC as the assistant aquatics director, and I knew it was the place I wanted to be. Camp was always in my blood. It was the perfect fit for me. So I became the assistant aquatics director, eventually the aquatics director. Upon graduating from my undergraduate degree, I took on a full-time role with the JCC as the aquatics director year-round. So I had kind of split my time, both doing spending time at the JCC during the year, but also having the opportunity to go out to camp in the summer times, which was like a perfect fit for me. And then in the last year or so, I've had the ability to transition to this full-time role within camp, which is really where my passion lies. On top of this, I'm also in a graduate program that's specific for camp administration. So it's definitely the perfect path for me, and a great place for me. So looking forward to it, and looking forward to what hopes to be an amazing summer.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. So we're going to go through kind of the basics of camp, teach you a little bit about, everything that you could possibly want to know. And then we are going to actually take a virtual tour of camp. So bear with us as we go through each area. Jared is manning the controllers. So Jared, if you want to click on that section. One of the things that's important to know about our camp, we are accredited by the American Camping Association. which this year more than ever has been really vital for us. The American Camping Association is a kind of governing body for private and public day and nonprofit day camps and overnight camps across the country. And it really sets the standards for what the best is in the industry when it comes to everything from safety to risk management, to how we hire our staff, to how we manage our health center, everything and in between. They set these standards and we go through an accreditation process every 5 years. And we have to, and each year off of those 5, we then have to do a smaller accreditation renewal. It is really vital to who we are as a camp. It ensures that we are upholding the safest policies and procedures. And we also get to attend the American Camping Association conference each March, where we get to learn with all of our colleagues across the country, look at new resources and vendors, and it's very exciting. It's a big part of who we are. A little bit about our camp. This is our 78th summer as a camp. So we have a very long time hold in the South Jersey Jewish community. We've been on our site in Medford for a little over 50 years. So we were founded in 1942. We are located on 120 acres in the Pinelands. Now, we are a large camp facility. One of the things that's really important, as I know many of you have younger children that we're going to talk about in this tour, is that they are not using the entirety of our property. So there are designated areas for the different children and different age groups, and that's really important so that you know that our little 3 and 4-year-olds are not walking 120 acres each day. We have approximately 1,300 campers each summer and 550 plus staff. We do have a mission statement. The JCC Camps at Medford enriches the lives of children by teaching values and life skills in a fun, safe, inclusive Jewish environment while building confidence, sharing successes, and creating lasting friendships and memories. We believe that summer camp is so much more than just childcare. Kids grow at camp. Kids grow in, emotion and social skills and physical activity, and we believe that we work really hard to make that happen. Talk about a little bit about the foundation of our Jewish values. So these are just some of the Jewish values that we focus on throughout the summer. As a secular Jewish camp, we are not prayer-based. We are affiliated with the JCC movement, for us with the JCC in Cherry Hill, of course. And so we are a secular Jewish camp. So most of the education that we do is through Jewish values. We do write a Jewish curriculum each summer. There's a different theme each summer. And what happens is rather than the kids going from arts and crafts to cooking to sports to Jewish education, the education is woven through everything that we do. So the kids will go to an activity and there's a value that they're going to learn at that activity. And they might learn a Hebrew word or a song or read a story from PJ Library, and it's woven into everything that they do. So it's very natural rather than feeling forced. We talk a lot about family and our camp family. You might have even seen from our emails that we talk about welcoming you to our camp family, and that's an important piece of who we are. We talk a lot about love, sharing love for camp, for nature, for our campers and staff, for respect. It's important that the kids learn to respect their staff, for the staff to learn to respect children, for children to learn to respect each other, and to remind everyone to respect our property. For justice and charity, we do a week-long Ruach Week or Spirit Week during the summer, which is where we do a tzedakah collection. The camp that raises the most money of our broken down age groups gets to allocate those funds. It's a really fun way for the kids to learn about giving back in a different way. And we do a number of other different, charitable projects during the summer. When we talk about mercy and compassion or rachmanut, we teach about sports and competition. We teach kids to be good sportsmen, not just that they're learning athletic skills, but they're really learning sportsmanship at their activities. And then kindness. It's just a true value that we try to base everything upon. Now, before we get into the breakdown of the different age groups of camp, we know that one of the most burning questions you're going to have is, what is the summer really going to look like? Because things are different this year, and we want to make sure that you all feel comfortable registering with knowing all of this information. Our campers and staff's health and safety is absolutely our number one priority. We are only going to open camp this summer if the local and state guidelines allow it. So we are regularly following the state of New Jersey and the Department of Health, and we are also awaiting a set of guidelines that's being written by the CDC and the American Camp Association. We've participated on calls with both of those organizations to receive regular updates. We've been very fortunate through our accreditation and also through our relationship with JCC Association to have that connection. We are working on a number of things this summer to put into place that have already been recommended. And so we're going to be implementing a number of things as long as we're able to open. Some of those things include, but are not limited to, we're adding in portable hand washing stations throughout camp. We already have bathrooms and sinks and all of those things, but it just allows for more opportunity for hand washing. And the kids would have required hand washing between activities. We're going to stagger our lunches so that our kids are allowed to sit a little bit more spaced out in the lunchroom. And then we're going to be implementing new cleaning and sanitizing procedures. While we already feel that our facilities staff does a great job of this, we know that it's another opportunity to take it to the next level in terms of sanitizing. It's also important to know what happens if you choose to register for this summer, which we hope you all do. What happens if we can't open or if we have a shortened season? So in the event that camp cannot open this summer, any registration dollars that you pay, your deposit, any payments you make, you can choose to either put on your as a credit for summer 2021 or get refunded. We do not want you to think that you are going to lose money by registering for camp, and that's really important to us. The other piece of it is that we are looking at opportunities for a shortened camp season. So if they say we can't open June 29th, but we can open mid-July, we will do so because we know that 6 weeks of camp is better than no weeks of camp. We know that you all need the childcare, and we know that we want kids to be having that summer opportunity because I know for my own children, they need to get out of the house more than ever before. So if we have to shorten our camp season, we will also prorate and adjust any payments at that point as well. And again, you'll be able to choose a refund or a credit. So a little bit about our camp breakdown. As I had mentioned, we're the JCC camps at Medford. We are actually 5 camps in one. And the reason that we are broken down like this is because it allows for a more individualized experience for our children and for our staff. So we have Camp Hilltop, which is our entering pre-K up through entering first graders and beyond. And we're going to go through each one because they all are slightly different. One of the things that's important to know is that each of these programs has its own director and assistant director. And that allows for you to have opportunity to contact anyone at any time during the camp day. You can always reach Jared and myself during the camp day, but you also will be able to reach your child's individual camp director and their unit head during the camp day if you need to speak to someone. So a little bit about Camp Hilltop. These are our littlest ones, and so because of that, their names for their divisions are after the parts of a tree. So Shoresh, or roots, they are the root of our campers. Our entering pre-K, our 3 and 4-year-olds are together in one age group. Their bunks are co-ed, and then Geza and Alan are entering kindergarten bunks. Those bunks are also co-ed. When the kids get to entering first grade, their bunks then are divided by gender, and we have Anaf and Bait, which serve our entering first graders. Within these divisions, there is an adult division head who supervises, and then there are the counselors within each bunk. Each bunk has a size of around 10 to 14 campers, and we have a 4-to-1 ratio for camper to staff. So for every 4 children in a group, there's at least 1 counselor. Now for these campers, because they're our youngest, we set the schedule for them. They have a liberal arts style schedule. They're gonna get a mixture of more sedentary activities, more active activities, water activities, creative arts, performing arts, and every type of sport you can imagine, because we want them to taste everything during their first few summers at camp while they start to know what they really love as they get older into our camp programming. The other thing that's so important to know is that the programming for this age group is geared just for them. You will see on our tour that each of our program areas have their own space and have their own fields. They also have their own specialists. So the person teaching arts and crafts to Hilltop age campers is only teaching to Hilltop age campers so that the activities and the supplies they're using are developmentally appropriate. The same goes for our sports team. The staff that are teaching sports are only teaching to our 3 to 6-year-olds so that the equipment they're using, the field size they're using, all developmentally appropriate for this age group.
Okay, so we move on to Camp Shalom, and those are our children that are ages 7 to 9, entering 7th through 4th grade. Our camper ratio is the same in Camp Shalom as it is in Hilltop, with a ratio of 4 campers per one counselor. And we're divided into by 3 different grades: 2nd grade, 3rd grade, and 4th grade. 2nd grade will be in our Masada Dimona division. Our 3rd grade, Haifa and Eilat. And our 4th grade, they're at Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. Now, these campers also have a liberal arts style scheduled. However, they have the opportunity to select groups, new activities individually and by bunk. So there's a club option for this grade, and there's bunk choice, where if a bunk really loves Gaga, or they really love basketball, or they really love the arts, they have opportunity to take some extra classes or extra programming outside of their regular schedule. Again, the staff that work with this age group are specifically trained to be with this age group. So our Camp Shalom campers are going to their own cooking specialists, their own sports specialists, and their own art specialists that are gearing activities that are appropriate for this age group. So Camp Aaron is our ages 10 to 13. These are our 5th through 8th graders, and they're divided into three groups. The Gilad is our 5th graders, Arad is our 6th graders, and Tavor is our 7th and 8th graders. These campers have a ratio of 10 to 1, and they get the opportunity to select their whole schedule for the summer. So prior to camp starting, an activity list will be sent to your families, and kids get to look at that activity list because they know by this age what they really love and what they're maybe not so crazy about. So a child who is really super sporty and wants to do sports all day has the opportunity to build their schedule in such a way that they're doing sports all day. Same thing for a child who might be arts focused, or those kids that just love camp and want to do a little bit of everything have the opportunity to build their daily schedule in whatever way that they want, with all the activities that they love. These campers have the ability to, it's kind of like a high school where they get to pick their classes and they rotate themselves through those classes. Each of the different areas, Gilad, Arad, and Tavor, have division heads and counselors that are assigned. So those children always have a point person to go to. They meet every morning. They have bunk unity activities, and then they go off throughout the day doing the activities that they really love.
So what's also great for our oldest campers, they have choice. They have a couple of options. They can do a typical summer with Camp Aaron, but they also have the opportunity to travel, and that's through our Chaverim programs. These are for our campers 12 and 13 who are entering 7th and 8th grade. Chaverim is a combination of day trips, some short overnights, like a one-night overnight, as well as long extended trips that happen in the 4th and the 8th week of the summer. With Chaverim, one of the best pieces for these campers is that it teaches them independence, that they get to go and they're staying in a hotel room and they're in an amusement park and they're checking in with our staff. But as a whole, we boast a 10 to 1 camper to staff ratio. And on those day trips, which typically take place those first 3 weeks and weeks 5, 6, and 7, they're going to places like Six Flags and Hershey Park or to a trampoline park, things like that. They're doing short overnights, let's say a night in New York City. Maybe they're going to a Broadway show one day, maybe going to the American Dream on the 2nd day on their way home, or going to Ocean City, Maryland and enjoying time down the shore. And then on our extended trips, we tend to rotate these trips every year. So perhaps it's a year where they go to New England and they're traveling up to Vermont, and they're into Massachusetts and Connecticut, and they're kind of traveling from place to place over the course of that week. Or they're doing an extended trip where they're in one place for the entire duration of that week. So they're in the Poconos for the entire week. Last year, we sent a group to Toronto, and they spent time in and around the city of Toronto for the entire week. What's also great about Haverim, especially for these kids that also maybe want to do some Camp Aaron, that they can combine the programs. So for kids that maybe want to do a few weeks of travel and a few weeks in Medford, they have the opportunity to do that by choosing at least 3 weeks of both programs. We don't necessarily care which weeks that you choose, which is also nice. So you can theoretically travel week 1, you can be in Camp Aaron week 2, back to traveling week 3, so on and so forth. Our last group of campers is for our kids that are entering 9th grade, our 14-year-olds. They also have some options, both between staying in Medford or traveling. I'll start first with our Medford option. That's our more traditional Gesher Leader in Training. That's the LIT program. So as Sarah had mentioned before, with Camp Hilltop and Camp Shalom, all of our campers are in bunks of those 10 to 14 campers with that series of counselors. Attached to those counselors is also typically a Leader in Training, one of those LITs. These 9th graders are getting hands-on job skill training to be able to work in the following summer. So they're gaining these leadership skills throughout the year, really preparing them to get into the workforce in that following summer. What's great about this program is that these kids not only are just in the program and are helping out the bunks and getting to build relationships with these campers, but they're also getting the leadership skills through regular leadership training. So they get pulled out a couple times a week for independent leadership training, which is a really nice piece of the program. They also get to travel once per week on daily trips, things like Dorney Park or Six Flags or Hurricane Harbor. The other option our 9th graders have is our brand new travel program for them. It's called Tiyulim. It is meant for the kids who really, really love to travel, and it's built in 2 2-week sessions. In each session, the kids have the opportunity to do 1 week of day trips, so similar to what I explained through Haverim, Hershey Park, Dorney Park, those types of places, but then also 1 long trip. And these long trips are not things like New England or the Poconos. It is getting on a plane and traveling somewhere around the country. For this year, our trips planned are a week in Atlanta and a week in Orlando for a universal experience. So some really awesome time, traveling with your friends in a smaller group. Same 10-to-1 camper ratio as we had in Haverim. But again, another great opportunity for kids who really love to travel, who want to spend time with their friends, to be able to do that. And like Haverim and Camp Aaron, you also can choose to combine the Gesher LIT program with Tiyulim if you want to do some travel, but also have the opportunity to build those leadership skills in camp.
So we're going to take you on a little tour of our facility. Normally, on a normal open house day, we would be getting on our golf carts and piling you guys and the kids into the golf carts and taking a tour of our campus. So we're going to show you our camp property. Here we are on 120 acres in the Pinelands, and we are going to take you on a little virtual tour as if we would be on our golf cart. So one of the first things that happens when you turn into our beautiful property, and unfortunately, you'll see a little bit, well, fortunately, you'll see a little bit more of it when we show you our video, but first stop is our security guard check. This is manned all day during camp hours, and we also have a security guard that has his own designated golf cart and patrols our campus all day. So we have 2 security personnel on the property at all times, but the first one that you would encounter if you came to camp during a normal camp day would be Eric here at the guard check. So this is the first pit stop. No cars are permitted onto our property once camp has begun. The gates are closed. You would have to stop and park here and stop at the shack and check in with Eric. All of our deliveries for camp are done starting at 6 a.m. and they are finished by 8:30 in the morning, and we do a sweep of the property and gates are closed, and then the only people that are permitted onto the property at that point are our staff and our buses as they bring the kids into camp. All of our guests must register at the guard check. License plates are taken down, a visitor pass is given, and you are checked in through our camper log here at the gate. You'll then proceed forward to the Welcome Center with your badge where you would check in, and whether you're picking a child up early or dropping a child in later or picking up a sick child, whatever it might be, that happens at the Welcome Center and not beyond. We have a very strong relationship with the Medford Police Department. We're very lucky to have a very good relationship with Secure Community Network, which is an organization that was founded as part of Homeland Security for the security of Jewish institutions. And our community has recently hired a community consultant through Secure Community Network that's working with all the Jewish agencies in the South Jersey area.
So if you're a camper and you ride the bus to camp, the first place you're going to go is you're going to come past Eric in the guard shack. You're going to make your way up to our bus yard, where every day we park 43 school buses to get our campers in and out of camp every day. So talk about a little about transportation. It is included as part of your camp tuition. There are no added costs in terms of taking the bus in and out of camp every day. And we service campers everywhere from Philadelphia to the shore, about 800 total bus stops between those two locations. So many options in and around your neighborhoods. And we have a dedicated transportation team that really works with our transportation company, Safety Bus. We've had a very long relationship with to make sure that all of our campers are safely getting to and from camp at stops that are convenient to you. So while we have 800 bus stops on a bus stop list, and you'll look at that list when you register to determine which stop makes the most sense for you. If, let's say, the stop is not close to you, you want to work with our transportation team to figure out there's a stop closer to you, or we can create one. They'll work with you. Sarah, who is our transportation director, really is excellent about doing that, and again, works with Safety Bus to make it convenient for you. On top of that, every bus has a dedicated bus counselor who serves as the lead bus staff member specifically for that bus. So when your bus arrives on the bus stop, your bus counselor would hop off the bus, introduce themselves on those first couple of days, and help that camper get situated on the bus. Not only are they a lead counselor on the bus, but they're also EpiPen trained. They're trained in emergency management. They really are your lead person on the bus to handle anything that might happen on the bus. Of course, the bus driver as well. What's also great about these buses is that many of our staff do take the bus to and from camp every day for themselves. So while again, the bus counselor serves as that lead person, there are also many counselors on each bus that are also helping to navigate and manage the busing each day. When campers do arrive, you can think it's like one big dance party. There's music playing. Many times we're in costume, and we try to get as many people into costume as possible. We really want to start the day as fun and energetic as possible. We really do believe that, camp starts the minute that campers get on the bus, and when they arrive to camp, the camp day truly has begun for them. So we want to create the most exciting environment for them. So by us being in costume and playing music, we're really starting off on a great point. And it's a great way for our campers to know where they're going. So all of our Camp Hilltop campers are walked to their bunks by a staff member. Many times we find that Camp Hilltop campers, after a couple of days, they know where they're going. They say they don't want anybody to walk them. So we might have somebody just walk really close to them to make sure they get to where they have to go. And maybe they lead the counselor to their bunk to make sure, but we always ensure that those littlest campers are being walked to their bunks. And then one last feature to our transportation is that if you have a home down the shore, or if you do plan on going on the shore, we have a shore shuttle available for a small additional fee if you wanted to take it whenever necessary. We do run that shore shuttle every day, but of course, it's very popular on Fridays and then for campers returning on Mondays.
So one of the other big questions that always comes up is food and healthcare at camp. So one of the first buildings that you approach when you walk into our camp facility, and if we were all together today, this is the building where we would be and in greeting you, and we would have food and arts and crafts going and activities. So we're bummed not to be doing that right now, but is our dining hall. We are a kosher camp. We are certified under the Cherry K VOD. So we serve almost 2,000 kosher meals every day. Each week consists of 3 dairy meals. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are dairy days, and 2 meat days, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Our food selection is definitely kid-friendly. So meat days are things like chicken nuggets, hot dogs, meatball subs. Dairy days are things like mac and cheese and pizza, baked ziti. But we always have alternate options because we know some of our campers are just very picky. We have bagels and sun butter and jelly and wow butter and jelly. We have hard-boiled eggs, string cheese, dry cereal, yogurt. We have tuna fish on meat days. We usually have hummus available. We also have a fresh fruit and a fresh vegetable served daily. That's really important. And our food is served family style. So our goal is that, especially with our little ones who might be pickier, the counselors really encourage them to try everything. And after that point, once they've tried the main meal, as long as we can get them to do it, if they choose to have something else, they'll grab one of the alternates. But we frequently get phone calls from parents being like, my kid will only eat toast at home. How are they willing to eat the meatballs at camp? We are happy to provide you the secret of the meatballs. A special hint, they are frozen kosher meatballs, but they happen to be our favorite meal. They're delicious. And we have families who are like, how is my kid trying this? Sometimes just being out in a different setting and the counselors who they look up to so much trying a new food really does spur that, that willingness to try. The kids also get a daily snack every day, as well as an ice cream or a popsicle, depending on if it's a meat or dairy day. We are a nut-aware facility, so we do not serve any products at camp that have nuts or peanuts of any kind. We also ask that families don't send anything with nuts or peanuts. So many of our kids will have a snack on the bus. We ask you to not send anything that contains any sort of nuts. It's for the safety of our campers. We have a lot of campers with food allergies. Our food service director will work very closely with our health center director for campers with food allergies as well. And our dining hall is air conditioned. So that's a lovely just reprieve from the the summer day. The other thing that's really lovely is that we have 2 small back rooms, and our show rush pavilion, our 3s and 4s, are actually attached to the deck of that building. And so they use those rooms as program spaces as well. So we have a little builder's room where the kids do Legos and magnet tiles and things like that. They do some imaginative play, and those are just nice spaces for us as well. Attached to the dining hall is our health center. We have 4 registered nurses on site each day. We have a rotation of about 11 to 12 nurses that rotate throughout the camp season because many of them work full-time and take their day or 2 off during the week to work at camp. We treat our health center like an urgent care. So there's a triage area when the kids first walk in where our nurse clerks sit, check everyone in, and we deal with, scrapes and boo-boos and things like that. There's also 2 private restrooms. We actually have a room dedicated just to our campers with diabetes with a separate fridge and a private space so that campers who need to deal with insulin can do so. We have an area for kids who are getting medications during the camp day, and we manage many, many meds during the camp day. Everything from it's a dairy day and my child needs Lactaid to any sort of medication your child's dealing with. And as we mentioned, the nurse deals with the food service director to handle food allergies. We keep a lot of EpiPens and Benadryl in our health center. As a mother of 3 children with food allergies, our health center staff is really incredible at dealing with them. And it's also an air-conditioned space as well. And so our nurses are there from everything from a scraped knee to a bellyache, and sometimes it's an I miss mom and I just need a little TLC kind of space.
Sorry, I was on mute. All right, next place we're going to visit is our aquatics area. So I'm going to actually go back to the map for just a moment. You can see a few bodies of water on here. There's a chunk of pools here, a pool here to our left, and then a pool down here closer to the lake, plus the lake, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But in total, our aquatics program consists of 4 age-appropriate pools, a splash park, as well as a wading pool. Every camper receives swim twice per day. So they'll get swim once as an instructional swim period and once as a free swim period. During instructional swim, campers are evaluated and grouped by their swim ability. So whether they're attending camp on the first week, first day, or their first days in week 4, their first day or 2 is meant as an evaluation period. We're hopping in the water with those campers to determine what level they best match up to in our swim academy. So we teach the Lenny Kraselberg Swim Academy at camp using the Swim Right method. Essentially, the method is an 8-level structured swim program that takes kids from fearful of putting their face in the water or getting into the water to being ready to actually go onto a swim team. For the kids that graduate out of our swim program, we do have like a camp swim team level where the kids are working on endurance and more stroke development when they're ready. What's great about our program is if you can picture karate, as the kids move up in levels in karate, they get a new karate belt. For swim, we do something very similar using swim caps. So as you can kind of see on the picture on the right, this is our green cap group. That's our 3rd level. The swim caps are great motivational tools as the kids work to get from one level to the next is they get very excited when they move from the yellow cap to the orange cap, or from the orange cap to the green cap, so on and so forth. But even more important, it ensures the safety of the campers at the pool. So like any pool you can imagine, there's deep ends and shallow ends, and some of our pools have slides or a diving board. Depending on what cap color you have is what allows you or does not allow you into a certain area of those pools. So for our lifeguards, it's an incredibly easy way to identify campers who are allowed to or not allowed to be in a specific area of the pool. Really, as an aquatics person, it is one of the best things that we do in terms of safety for our campers. All those swim caps stay at camp. We're not asking campers to bring them home every day, and they get stored in an individual Ziploc bag. So caps are not just in a bin with everybody else's caps. They are in an individual bag and then placed into a bin. All of our pools are staffed with American Red Cross lifeguards who have to undergo training throughout the year as well. So they're not just showing us certification; they have to show us to make sure that their skills are up to date and that they're really safe to understand what our policies are. And then on top of that, in terms of instructional swim, as Camp Hilltop and Camp Shalom families, you will receive a weekly swim report, which gives you a basic insight into what's going on during instructional swim during those weeks of camp. It's a great way to see the progress that your camper is making as they move along. And anytime one of our staff members comes to evaluate a camper, whether they're ready to move up to the next level or they're not yet ready, you'll also get a note home that says, Christina, our aquatics director, went to visit Billy, the camper, and they were or were not ready to move up to the next level. On top of that, I mentioned that you also get a free swim period. It's another just great opportunity to hop in the water, especially on a hot day, to cool off and, again, be in an area of the pool where it's safe to be in. And then a great benefit to being a camp family is that you are entitled to take advantage of our weekend swim club. So every weekend from Father's Day through Labor Day weekend, our swim club is open, and our swim club consists of the lake being open, the Shalom pool, which is one of our main areas at camp, plus our splash park, open for any of our families to enjoy. It's open 12 to 6. It's a great way to go out to camp, let your kids show you around camp, and enjoy the day out when it's nice. We also have a snack shack, so you can really make it a full day, get lunch, and really enjoy what we have to offer out there.
All right, so the next area on our tour we're going to talk about is athletics. And can we go back to the map really quickly, just as you
Sure.
showed the pools? Let's take a look at our athletic spaces. So as we talked about each of our individual camps, Camp Hilltop, Camp Shalom, and Camp Aaron, each one of those camps has its own sports area. So Hilltop is right there. There you go. Camp Shalom is down a little bit below that, and Camp Aaron is up and to the left. And one of the things that you'll notice when you come out to camp is that you'll be able to see just by the athletic field space and areas that our sports program, just like our whole camp program, is built on an aspirational arc. So whereas our Camp Hilltop campers, you can go to the slide if you want to, Jared, are learning the basics of what sports are out there and what the basics are, and some skills and drills done in a very age-appropriate and fun way. When you get up to Camp Shalom, the fields are bigger and they're doing more scrimmaging and gameplay and skill refinement. And then when you get up to Camp Aaron, they're really playing on full-size fields, full-size courts, and those kinds of things. But each of those different age groups has their own area and dedicated sports staff. So when we get to Camp Aaron, for example, we have a lot of gym teachers, college athletes that are teaching and working with the kids out there on the sports fields. And they're trained for those kinds of things. And our sports staff for our Camp Hilltoppers really understand the length of attention span and the need to keep those kids moving and enjoying their activities, so they're learning their skills as they go. There is usually a component of instruction along with play. Mostly in Camp Aaron, they just want to go and play. But this is our list of a lot of our sports: soccer and basketball, kickball, some of the basics. Gaga is one of our most popular sports out at camp. It's kind of, if you're not familiar, it's played in a surrounded space. It's kind of like a dodgeball, but in a dedicated space. We have flag football. We have multiple tennis courts. We have several beach volleyball areas, Newcomb, hockey, mini golf. New this year was human foosball, which was a huge hit with the kids. And this past year, due to a generous donor, we were able to rehab our miniature golf area. It's absolutely beautiful and updated.
So a little bit about our pavilion spaces. So as we've mentioned, we have numerous activities that happen during the camp day, and our pavilion spaces are really dedicated to both these activities and being home bases for different age groups. Every division has its own sort of home base. It's where the kids go to in the mornings, where they start their day, where they're greeted with big smiles from their counselors. It's where they keep their backpacks and things like that. They are not, we know our campsite is on the larger side. Our kids are not schlepping their backpacks all day, which is a really important thing to know. They are just bringing them to the bus, from the bus yard to their pavilions and back again. So they're waiting there for them for swim for changing time. Our pavilions are open air. They include restrooms and changing areas. There's storage for their belongings. Each bunk within the division sort of has their place. It's usually a picnic table, but that's their place in the mornings where they gather. Those pavilions are then repurposed throughout the day. So our more sedentary activities like science or arts and crafts or ceramics are happening under these pavilions. And in the event of a rainy day, what will happen, because they're all covered, is the kids will go back to their pavilions and the specialists will then rotate and come to them, so that they're still getting as much activity as possible on a rainy day. Additionally, we have playgrounds at camp. We actually have 4 age-appropriate playgrounds that are near our pavilions. We have our one by Show Rush, which is very much geared to 3- and 4-year-olds. It is developmentally appropriate for them to be independent and play, obviously well supervised by counselors at all times. There's sandboxes, and then our facilities director, Ken, who's absolutely phenomenal, even built these interactive sensory walls around the playground area so the kids can drop balls through different tubes and they can drum, and he created a xylophone. They're really quite beautiful. We have our Gaza and Alan playgrounds for our kindergartners. They have our fire engine and our purple and green playground, as we call it, which is age and size appropriate for them. Amy's Place, which is by our Anaf and Bayit pavilions. Again, a little bit older, really more elementary school age style as the kids are entering 1st grade. And then we have our blue and yellow playground, which is our bus playground, our bus yard playground, which the campers enjoy playing in the mornings and the afternoons, but is really geared more for our Camp Shalom age campers.
All right, so Beth had mentioned this aspirational arc. As the kids get older, they get to experience some new activities, obviously things that are age appropriate for them. One of those things that as the kids get older, they get access to our Adventure Center, our Rope Center. Here, it's a really an awesome place. When you picture camp and you picture being in the woods, this is just one of those places that always comes to our mind. Included in that is a full high ropes course as well as a low ropes course. Both are really great for team building, especially that low ropes course. It's all staffed by belay certified personnel. So we have many of our ropes personnel who come back year after year after year. And no matter how many years they've been with us, they still undergo a very intensive training before the camp season begins. Within this ropes park, there are 3 zip lines. I've been on a couple of them. They are really a fun time. A climbing boulder, which you actually see in the second picture below. A climbing tower, and you're seeing one side of that climbing tower on this large picture. The cargo net is also a big Israeli mat wall and then a very typical rock wall as well. As I mentioned earlier, all great for team building. And of course, for any camper that does any of our high ropes activity, they are required to wear helmets and harnesses at all times.
So going through our camp property, we have what we call STEM Village. STEM Village is where we do all of our STEM programming for our campers at camp. We have 2 trailers that are connected by a fantastic outdoor deck area, and we do a lot of STEM programming for our older Camp Shalom campers. They can opt into some of these activities as part of their club activities, as well as our Camp Aaron campers. These are both air-conditioned spaces that we have outfitted with Chromebooks and computers and laptops, where the kids are doing things like flying drones and coding, 3D printing, and circuitry. These are some of our newer areas that we have built into our camp programming, and they have been super popular really fantastic. And we are amazed at what these kids can do. It's been fantastic.
Great. So the creative and performing arts are a really important piece to what we do at camp. Every age group has a dedicated arts space, and every age group has a different variety of both performing and creative arts. We want our kids to learn how to do new techniques and new skills. We want them to feel confident shining on stage. We have a theater program that campers get to opt into. It is not required that kids perform, but each age group outside of our 3 and 4-year-olds have the opportunity to sign up for theater as an elective activity. And we have a Hilltop show, a Shalom show, and an Aaron show. Our Aaron show is more of a Broadway style performance. They're doing a scripted show with choreography and costumes and the whole 9 yards that gets performed at the Catch JCC in the evening during week 7 so that you can come and enjoy it. Our Shalom and our Hilltop campers do more of a musical review, again, held in the evening so that you can enjoy it. It's about as adorable as it gets to see the kids waving at you from the stage, especially our little ones who have no fear and just stepping right out and screaming, "Hi, Mom," while they're on the stage. It's quite cute. We also have our creative arts activities that get a little bit more highbrow as the kids get older, a little bit more technical, a little bit more difficult. So our younger campers are doing things like arts and crafts. They're getting a taste, a sensory experience. They're trying new things. As they move into Camp Shalom, they're trying things like ceramics and digital photography. And then as they're moving into Camp Aaron, they're trying things that are a little bit more difficult, like wheel ceramics and woodworking and painting and drawing, like true painting and drawing classes. We have a fabulous art student who runs that program. And so they're really quite special. The kids are incredibly proud of the artwork that they do. And as I mentioned earlier, there's really a theme woven through all of the projects that come home. This summer's theme is Giborim. It's the Hebrew word for heroes. So they're going to be both focusing on superheroes and then also different historical heroes as well. And that's the theme of what they're going to be doing this summer.
So Sarah had mentioned earlier about our Jewish values, and I think one place where they really shine is in our nature center. So we're going to head over there next. It's also a fan favorite, especially for us. And if you take a look at the picture that I have in my background, I'm hanging out with our alpaca friends. But nature is really, again, a fan favorite for many of our campers. Included in our nature program is a petting zoo with alpacas and goats. Again, like the ones that are behind me. There's also an indoor nature center, things like turtles and lizards. The kids really get to learn not just to go pet the animals and to feed the animals, to really understand, what is an alpaca and learn about the environment and all that good stuff. It becomes much more than just a petting zoo. It really becomes a great learning experience. And when you incorporate things like kindness and respect and love, it really puts it all together from the Jewish values perspective into the environment, into nature. Last year we had created a brand new Israeli salad garden. It was really an incredible an experience. The kids got to watch the vegetables grow, and they were really delicious vegetables. Again, as I mentioned, learned to take care of the environment, and then spread out also across our 120 acres are some nature walks. So as part of this nature curriculum, the kids also get the opportunity to take a small little hike around our property as well and understand kind of what goes on in the pylons. And it's really a great environmental experience for them to understand the pylons and understand where they really are when they're in Medford.
So now we go down to our lake, which is an absolutely beautiful, fantastic place to be. When we mentioned that our campus is available to you as a camp family on the weekends for you to come and enjoy, the lake is part of that. You're able to go down to the lake and sit on the beach under the trees, take some boats out, go fishing, enjoy our Wivet inflatable park that's out in the middle of the lake. It's lovely. We have a 4-acre lake. It is full of fish and turtles and all those wonderful things back to nature. And we do a lot of programming on our lake. Our lake is divided into 3 separate areas. One is our fishing area, and pretty much everyone is guaranteed to catch a fish. There are tons of fish down there. There are turtles. Kids name some of the turtles. We've identified that some of the turtles might be as old as 50 years old down there. So it's an exciting place to be. Our center area of the lake is our swimming area where kids can go and swim, but mostly they like to climb on our Wibbit Lake inflatable. It's like a giant Ninja Warrior inflatable out there in the middle of the lake. And then we have our boating area where we have paddle boats and snorkels and stand-up paddle boards, kayaks, canoes. It's a fantastic place to be. It's one that the kids love to spend some time. We have beach volleyball down there on the beach as well. All of our waterfront is staffed by American Red Cross certified waterfront lifeguards. And everyone is required to wear a life jacket. You can see in some of the pictures, there's staff in the boats and staff jumping off the Wibbit with the kids. Everyone, staff included, adults that come to visit on the weekends are all required to wear a life jacket.
So next up is our Welcome Center. So as Beth had mentioned earlier, we have our beautiful STEM village that takes place in 2 trailers. And up until a couple of years ago, those trailers were actually our offices. So I think this is now going to be our 3rd summer coming up in the Welcome Center. It's a beautiful building that was very generously donated by the Davis family. And we are so fortunate that this is what houses our administrative offices. It's where you will check in and check out your campers who need to be dropped off late or picked up early. And it's the hub for all communication in and out of camp. We have receptionists. We actually have full-time camp staff who what they do all day is they do attendance, and that is their job. They do attendance. They contact any families that need to be contacted. Our transportation team is there. And then additionally, we have our Open Hearts, Open Doors sensory room. This was an incredible piece of what we added that we were so excited for with the building when it was created. So this sensory room is geared for Open Hearts, Open Doors, which is our inclusion program. We have had this inclusion program for over 25 years. It's really one of the shining stars of what we do at camp. We accepted approximately 100 campers with special needs into our programming, and they have a fully inclusive experience. So the majority of you on this call, your children will have a child with special needs in their bunk who has a one-on-one staff member supporting them. We have a team of about 60 dedicated staff just for this program because some of our campers are just monitored through it and some of them have sort of a 2-to-1 as shared advocate. It is an amazing program for the children who need it. It is even more amazing of a program for the children the typical children in these bunks who learn acceptance and understanding in a whole new way. So in addition to our inclusion program, a couple of years ago, we started 2 additional programs. We have Ma'avarim, which is a job skills program. It's training for camp jobs for teens with special needs. And then we have Kulanu, which is a life and leisure skills program. They also get a vocational experience that we started last year called Brulanu. They run a staff coffee shop at camp. It is really fun. The staff love it, and the participants are so proud of what they put forth and the relationships they build by selling these drinks and snacks and things like that. It's been a really beautiful experience. So as I mentioned, parent communication takes place from our Welcome Center, and we are regularly and totally accessible for you to contact. So you'll see on the right-hand side, we have our website. We do have live chat on our website, so many of you might have contacted us through that. That is staffed by real people. On the off season, Jared and I are the ones answering you. It is truly us behind the computer. It is not a bot of any kind. We also use tons of social media. Right now, with everything going on, Facebook has definitely been a main source of communication for families. And we highly recommend follow our Facebook page because we've been providing lots of fun resources and at-home activities for you to participate in. You'll also get a lot of updates through the season. Check out our Instagram page for fun photos and our YouTube page where we have videos and past montages. We do a weekly montage of photos from camps. And those are all on our YouTube page. So then you're able to see what camp looks like through the eyes of that camera lens during the summer. We actually hire a full-time camp photographer. Her whole job is to take photos during the camp season and upload them. So our camp office, we are there and available by phone from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. So we are there before the first child gets on a bus, and we are there until after the last child gets off of a bus. Our Camp Hilltop and Camp Shalom campers receive paper weekly schedules and updates about their child. Those are written by the counselors. You get, on Friday, you'll get that schedule for Monday for the next week. I love to hang mine on the fridge. It's a great way for me to talk to my son. So rather than saying, what did you do this week? And he goes, nothing, because we know that 5-year-olds do that frequently. I can say, oh, I see you had soccer on your schedule today. Let's talk about soccer. It's a great way to communicate and hear more about camp. All of our age groups also have their own emails and phone extension. You can contact them at any time. If you get the front desk during the camp season and you need to speak to someone quickly, we all carry walkie-talkies. And so they'll call us on the walkie-talkie and we'll come down to the Welcome Center to speak to you. Additionally, we have an app. Our app is absolutely amazing. Last summer was our first summer using it. There are push notifications where you'll get bus updates. You'll get an update, let's say a bus is running behind or had to stop for some reason. You'll get an update in real time about that. You'll also get push notifications when the kids leave for the day, so you have an idea of when the kids are heading out. We always aim for campers to roll out of the bus yard at 4 o'clock, knowing that the first few days of camp it's a little bit later. But if something got held up or if there was rain, so we held the buses back for a few minutes, you'll have that update. There's also a photo stream on the app that is really accessible, so you can see pictures of your children having fun at camp. It is password protected, so only you have access to it. However, you can designate for other family members to receive that access, like a grandparent. And we also have emergency text notifications through that. So even if you choose not to download the app in your app store, which it is free for families, there's no charge for it. If we have to contact you in case of an emergency, you will still get those text messages. During the camp season, we also do a weekly newsletter that goes out every Friday right at the end of the camp day. And in the off season, we do a monthly newsletter. And then as I mentioned, we use social media to communicate a lot with families. So you're excited, your children want to come to camp. How do you register? Our website is really super simple to use. You'll see at the top right of our website is a button that says Enroll Now. There's a camper application and you fill it out. We use a registration program called Camp Minder, which is excellent. The first year that you do the registration, it takes a drop longer because in subsequent years after that point, it actually repopulates a lot of your information for you. So the process is very quick. What happens is once you do that application, you have a Camp In Touch portal. So at the top right, to the left of where it says Enroll Now, there's actually a button that says Log In. And that portal is where you access all of your child's forms and documents, their health forms, any waivers, behavior forms, anything that you have to sign. And that's where you're going to be filling them out, is in that portal. Additionally, underneath that, you'll even see we work with a company called Oliver's Labels. We recommend you label everything all the time at camp, and you can purchase them right through your portal, which is really convenient as well.